Hey, what is up guys? It is your boy Sweet here, and today we are going to be looking at a bunch of mid-game team fights, maybe some late-game team fights as well, but team fights in general, how you guys can team fight better. This is another episode of Guess That Rank. If you guys aren't familiar with the series, this is your first video. Basically what we're doing here today is I've picked 3 replays that you guys submitted through the YouTube community tab. I'm going to be looking at your games. I do not know the ranks when I'm looking at them. I'm going to watch your plays, tell you what you could do better, and then based upon how you perform, try to guess exactly what rank you are. So if you guys are excited for this video, I would appreciate it if you could smash that like button, hit it right now, blow it up, make it go up to 1,000. If it's not blue, make it blue, or I'll be blue. And now, let's get into the video. But quickly, before we do, I do want to announce that we just released the gameleap website, right? So if you guys are looking for new content, we just put out this site. It's brand new. I have not been promoting it for the last 2 years now. If you don't know what it is at this point, we put new videos every single day that help you get to the next level. I'm not kidding. You don't believe me? Go check it out. Not reposted YouTube videos, literally new, fresh content, right? So if you're looking for something, oh, it's not on YouTube, it's probably over there. So click the link down below, sign up today, and I hope to see you guys there. So the first player we will be looking at is Madara on the offlane Pangolier, currently 54 CS, 2-1-0 at 11 minutes, not too bad. The only major issue I have is this. This looks obscenely ugly to me. I hate when players have this many open slots. There should either be a clarity, you should likely have a bottle. I find it somewhat insane that you have, it's just like, how do you even sustain this? I don't know how you sustain this. You have 500 mana and that's it. Like once you're out, you're out. Right, you can pop your wand, which isn't too bad, but you need clarities, maybe a raindrop, right? Clarities, maybe a raindrop. A bottle is fantastic on Pangolier in the lane as well if you're going to rush a javelin, and so I really feel like this is going to limit you. Like, literally Pudge is ganking bottom, and you can't even play the game. I already know that this is relatively low. I know this isn't a team fight, but like, I just have to harp on these things because, guys, Madara, he can't even play the game. How can you expect to gain MMR and have higher impact if you can't even play just because you have no mana? There's no excuse for this, right? Literally, this guy hits a hook. Okay, great, he got the kill, but imagine if that Earthshaker was full HP. Maybe he doesn't get the kill. That's all I'm saying. Even here, right? Like, realistically, you see how this Viper's level 7 with no points in corrosive skin? This is definitely a little more, I'm just being real. But you see this? He should not be allowed to hit a creep wave by himself, right? He should not be allowed to get this much XP when you have such a substantial level, and I'm guessing net worth advantage, I'd imagine too, right? You have more than 1.3k, almost 1.5k net worth on this guy. And so that's, in my opinion, just a huge mistake within itself. So I highly recommend you try to fix that ASAP. Alright, so let's get into one of Madara's team fights. He went Guardian Greaves, which I would say is reasonable. Gets rid of Cold Snap, gets rid of Viper's spells. He said that he didn't buy a pipe because the Pudge was buying it apparently. So that's totally reasonable. That makes complete sense. So, you know, I think your build is very reasonable. I don't think Greaves is like particularly good here. After all, they do very little physical damage for the early portions of the game. Like Luna only really starts right-clicking a little bit later on. But nonetheless, okay, are you gonna roll in right away here? I mean, this game is honestly a stomp. I don't know what I expect at this point, guys. Like, every single time I click on one of your games to review it and look at your team fights, it's just like, stop, stomp. I'm gonna specifically try to look for losing games in the future. It's pretty hard to do that because I obviously can't look at the rank. Alright, let's just keep going. So, I'm curious to see how you'll continue to snowball and how you'll push in waves. So I guess we'll take a bit of a detour around fighting and look more so towards that. So, you are closing down the map pretty hard. You've kept up your CS quite well, while also going 7-1-7, which is good, right? You've shown to me just within this game that you're quite competent when it comes to shoving waves. Personally here, I wouldn't shove this mid tier 2. It's not the end of the world. I think I would just prefer to shove in bottom and then take Roche and then control it, right, with an Aegis. I just think it's a much safer, like, basically, guys, quick tip, anytime you are considering going for the mid tier 2, I want you to burn into your head the idea that Roshan is also an option. In fact, it is likely the better option. Now, you might be saying this game, it's kind of hard. It's hard, but they can disarm it with Pango and so on. So I would prefer that quite a bit more. You have such good Aegis carriers. Storm and Void love having Aegis in particular. So, yeah, that's something I would do. But let's move ahead. Okay, you actually guys, you do Roche. Nice. This is good. Okay, so I think this is pretty high. My guess is like, I'm getting like Legend-esque vibes. Frankly, you guys are stomping, so it looks, you know, it doesn't look bad. Obviously, you're doing quite well. But let's see how this fight plays out. So you go in. Okay, I have an issue here. So When you were swashbuckling, how can you hit anyone if you can't even see them? So, if I'm hitting this tower, this is all dead space, right? This is all dead space, unless you think they're gonna flank, which, you know, considering you can see them in their base on the minimap, they're not flanking. But unless they are flanking, your camera should be all the way up and you should be able to see what they're doing. You need to see how close they are. You need to know if Earthshaker has a blink dagger, because frankly, if he does, this positioning is very questionable, right? It's very questionable. So, you know, that right there is just kind of meh, right? And even here, when you swashbuckle, it's going to be very hard for you to hit a proper target because your camera took too long to move up. You do move it up sort of here. I'm just saying move it up right away, guys, so you can actually see what's going on. And then this was a bit of a meh swashbuckle. Wasn't terrible, but all in all, this whole dive is obviously just, what the? Okay, good neutral item usage, but that dive this is just not good. Ow, what are you doing? Alright, guys, this is a classic, this is a classic. No, he's dead too. Alright, this is, I think it's Legend. I said it was Legend before, I'm gonna say Legend 2. I'm gonna say Pangolier is Legend 2. He is... Oh, okay, Archon 2. Reasonable. I think I would like to see a game where you're not winning, and then it would probably like really point out your issues, because if you don't go any mana regen and you're losing, you can't even farm back into the game. You can't even make plays. So, okay, let's get into the second clip. It's been a while. All right, next up on the list, we have Demons on the Magnus as he's getting jumped by a Storm Spirit. This game, you said that your team struggled in the early game, which totally makes sense. We're 13 minutes and 22 seconds in here, 3-2-2, and you're 6k behind. So apparently you won the game. That's what you wrote in the YouTube comment. And so yeah, let's see how you fought back to victory, what you did right and what you did wrong. So let's start off with this engagement right here. I'm curious to see how you play it, because every little thing counts. So I did actually just watch this clip, so I'm watching it back now, but I do want to point out what I noticed. First things first, what I really like about this engagement here is that you do not full panic when you get gone on. So you get gone on and you still get off these auto attacks, which is good because basically 2 auto attacks from Magnus is almost a third of Storm Spirit's HP. So that's quite substantial, you know, it really adds up. Now Storm ends up dodging the arrow with a complete overzip, which gives me bad vibes, not gonna lie. I can see that the Storm Spirit is like platinum or whatever it is. That's an embarrassing zip by Fog of War. Embarrassing. You should be ashamed of yourself. I'm kidding. But still, the right clicks are good, and I like the fact that you come back in here, really nice shockwave. I think this RP was good, right? Maybe you didn't know Storm is out of mana, but nonetheless, I like the RP overall. The reason why I like it is because a lot of players, when they're playing Magnus, fall under this issue of basically not being willing to commit RP for one hero, and when you get that down and you learn to just use it on course to solo kill them, you actually gain a lot of net worth. So well done to you there. And yeah, your CS quite dang good. Not, you know, optimal, but I mean, looking at the fact that you have 2 deaths and have been super active, seems pretty reasonable. Alright, so getting into the minigame here, you guys are looking for the Storm kill. You were pinging this out the entire time, which I can very, very, very much appreciate. So here I would probably just solo RP him. Yep, like that. No need to skewer. Perfect. So great spell execution there. Great communication to your teammates. Guys, I cannot stress enough how good Demons play that. Purely based off the fact that he spam pinged. Guys, if you need your team to do something, spam ping. Don't do it like in the tilted way, right? So there's the difference between, and you're like spam, you know, you're like, and then there's also the, you know what I mean? Where like, you know, you're like, hey, see that, look at this, right? There's a very clear difference between the two, in my opinion. One works, one doesn't. But okay, you get gone on here. It looks like you might actually end up going down. You do. Can't imagine this fight's that bad for your team, but, oh boy. So, yeah, I mean, the only thing to say, okay, so clearly what we can see about this game is that your Spectre's having a hard one. Knowing that he had Haunt, maybe you could have disengaged. Sorry, I didn't know that he didn't have Haunt, so maybe you should have, oh god, he's dead. Or not. But maybe he should have disengaged, right? So knowing that he was having hard lane and he doesn't have Haunt, you could have potentially just ran away, right? If you don't have Haunt, you can't really be followed up, your carry can't be there, and there's Ken, so you might need to disengage in that regard. But let's continue on. Alright, let's take a look at one more team fight before we end off. So far so good. I'm getting kind of like ancient high divine vibes, could even be higher. All in all, I feel like both teams have been playing quite high tempo Dota. So yeah, a Storm zips in here, you follow it up with a skewer. I would say that maybe you could have considered just RPing him. Also, you definitely should have actually shockwaved him. I think the little movement from the shockwave can actually prevent him from zipping just for a short period of time, which might have gotten him killed, but hey, he'll probably die anyway. But then you guys are going to chase, so obviously this chase makes a lot of sense. no problem there. And let's actually look if something else happens, because that was a very short fight. I would say that maybe you could have committed your ultimate, you know, especially considering, actually quick point, especially considering that you'd be RPing him under a tier 2, it's actually quite good, because then if the enemy team wants to fight, it's not a good spot for them, right? What are they going to do, follow up and counter-initiate under a tier 2? Then you guys can just glyph and they're all dead, right? It's likely not going to work out for them. So it's definitely a good option. Okay, so you guys actually get Moonlight Shadow. I'm curious to see what you'll do against PA. Oh, unfortunately, a stun missed. You could actually skewer ahead and go for the RP, but that would be very dangerous, so I'm glad that you do not. Let's see how you play this. Your team's calling the get back. You see a potential opportunity to go in. Okay, I'm just going to straight up man up. Okay, the only thing I mean, a lot of what's going on here is absolutely fantastic. Clearly, you're either quite good at the game or have played a lot of Magnus, just based on how quick you're switching targets. Like, guys, it's actually something to note, something that, you know, like can impact whether or not you're getting good at the game or not, is how quickly you can actually change from target to target and just purely have the awareness of who you want to go for next. It does matter. So right here, the only thing I would say is, like, maybe you could look for an RP. Instead of walking right out here, there's actually nothing really disrupting you right now. Personally, I think I would have tried to stay out of vision, and then look for an RP, right? Lead the fight in with that. Also, you could have maybe looked for the skewer into the RP play here. I think that's a good option as well, right? Just to make sure you can get that RP out. So I think that was definitely another option. You know, instead of just straight up fully auto-attacking a bounty hunter to death, which is a bit questionable, that could have been better, so just keep that in mind. But all in all, great fight. Okay, I'm gonna guess. This is a tough one, guys. Let me know if you get it right in the comments, but this is a tough one, because I feel like his gameplay is at least Divine. I'm gonna say that this is Divine 3. That's my guess. Okay, Magnus is Divine 3, and... Oh! Yes! Divine 2. I'm the greatest. Yeah, buddy. And last but not least, we have Mizu on the Tiny. And dude, Max Avalanche, bruh, I've not seen, okay, you guys can tell me if I'm wrong. Obviously, I'm always open. I'm all ears, right? I'm all ears. Tell me in the comments, have you seen a single professional Tiny not max Avalanche? How do you not max Avalanche? Because if you look at the cooldown of Toss, number 1, you don't need to max it, right? Because you want to make sure that these spells are on relatively similar cooldowns. Why? Because then you can cast them together, and when you cast them together, they do significantly more damage. Avalanche does 3 times damage when units are being tossed, right? And therefore, you want to cast them together. Also, Avalanche does 3 times damage to units being tossed. Did you guys know that Avalanche does 3 times damage to units being tossed? Yes, it does. So if Avalanche does 150 damage, it does 450 max. If it does 300 damage at max, then it can do up to 900, right? It is insane. It is ridiculous. And so please, guys, max Avalanche to match the cooldowns, and also so you can actually burst people. After all, that is largely Tiny's strength. So we're going to be looking at mid-game teamfights, mid-game engagements for positioning. Some pretty good pickoffs so far. You are currently 4-1-2, which is quite dang good, nearly to your Blink Dagger. Very good timing. One thing I would say is usually I'm a fan of Stick. I do feel like it's generally worth the investment, but all in all, it's not the end of the world. I think this is a hero that can get away with it as long as you're buying at least Clarities. Oh my god, you missed both of those CS. Dude! Guys, oh, this gives me the... I mean, hey, we all make mistakes, right? But you have to make sure you get these CS. Oh my god. Alright, so you do end up picking up the Stick and some Clarities. The only other thing I would say is make sure you ship out some smoke. So if we click the inventory here, see this item? Bada bing, bada boom, you want to buy one. Very important, I would also buy a Windlace as well. I think the key items on Tiny are Tranquils, Blink, Stick, Windlace, Clarities, and Smoke. Words are very important as well, as if you have Vision, you can actually one-shot people. Without Vision, you cannot. So yeah, at this point in the game, I kind of just want to see you go on basically anyone you can. So you're looking for the out there, that's okay. A big thing about Tiny that people kind of mess up is when they actually go in. So, alright, your Blink's getting canceled. You're going to have to kite out. Oh my god, just kite out. So I understand why you want to run in here, but really there's nothing... It's very hard to do that. For all you Tiny players, you're better off 9 times out of 10, unless you have to save someone literally in the moment, to just kite out and wait for your Blink. Make sure you can actually Blink combo someone. It does significant amounts of damage. Or just cast the Avalanche. Like, you need to do one or the other. You need to either walk in here and throw Avalanche to try to help him, or you need to kite out, right? I think these are really your 2 options. Like, maybe you could run at this Wind Ranger as well, but all in all, you kind of panic and don't do either, which is obviously not good. Alright, so once again here, this is where I can see that the early game is not bad. Like, your early game, from when I quickly went through it, was like, I got like ancient-ish vibes, and even this rotation, it just gives me ancient vibes. Could be legend as well, maybe. It's just like you TP top. Dude, look at this guy's HP pool. I would imagine your Wraith King is nothing, right? So, okay, he doesn't do much at all, right? Does a little bit. This guy is so tanky. He has a Sanj. And you can't kill him, right? You need a very specific heroes to kill him. You need, like, Void Spear, right? At least. Or an Eclipse, right? So if you have Eclipse, you could probably kill him. If you have Void Spear, you could probably kill him. But without these things, I don't think you can really kill him, right? I really don't believe you can kill him. And therefore, just don't make this rotation. This is why you need to buy smokes. Instead of TPing top to try to kill this full HP Alk, you need to click a smoke on this guy after you push in the wave and either walk bottom or walk top. One or the other, I do not care. But guys, you have to stop just running around in vision and trying to make plays like this one. They barely ever work, and it's just, you know, it's something that people have to fix. Like, this is reactionary Dota. You're playing tiny, bro. You're not playing Tree and Protector. Go set things up with a smoke. Right? I can't stress this enough how important it is, because you also don't want the enemy team to literally see you coming. So this mid-game, you wanted me to look at the positioning. Okay, this jump is fine. That was fine. But you know, you asked me to look at positioning. I wouldn't say anything so far I've noticed is particularly bad. It's mostly just that you're not really looking to do... Okay, you are looking to do things, but you're not looking to do it the right way. And really, smoke is the only option that I see. It's either that or, like, shove some creep waves. So, okay. Right here, right off the bat, I feel like if you are going to ever go in, then you should have went in sort of right away. Right? So, you have a good opportunity here to actually go on the Lina. She's casted her Yules, and if you know anything about Lina mid... Very squishy. Very, very, very squishy. The only saving grace is her Yules. It lets her kite out for a little bit. But once she commits it, she's kind of just fodder, right? She just dies. And so right here, what I would look to do is either just straight up combo the Lina, right? I would combo this Lina. No, honestly, she might even just die to it. Actually, I think she does literally die to it. So you should either combo this Lina, or you should toss the Mars onto the Lina, or vice versa, and combo. But I don't know why you're walking around the outside like this. I mean, this combo's good too. Like, that's fine. It's just slow, right? Like, it just shows that you kind of don't have this instant instinct to know that, okay, I can kill Lina if she's not farmed this game, or I can kill Lina because she's committed Yules, or I can kill Lina just because she's squishy, right? In a high number game, you don't always get, especially Immortal, you don't get many opportunities to do what you want, right? People slip up, like, very quickly. It's not often too drastic like this Lina. I mean, you could have killed her at any point, basically. And so it's very important to note that and just see that it did take you quite a bit. Even though you still comboed a great target, you know, it's just something you want to look into. Let's look at one more fight. So your teammate is getting comboed. This is just a runaway. Okay, no big deal. I'm glad to see you run away. Once again, though, has anyone bought a smoke? Guys, please. Please. Someone do it. Save my soul. Save my soul. Just one person, make me happy. Send me screenshots. DM me on Discord screenshots of you buying smokes. It will make my day. And not in a private lobby. That's cheating. Okay, so walking into the fight here, positioning totally fine, staying out of vision. This definitely seems like an avalanche combo. Okay, that is definitely a very good combo. Good awareness, good positioning. Very well done. I do not have a particular complaint here. Very, very good positioning. I like the patience. Could I say, okay, maybe you should have once again gone a little bit earlier? In this case, not really, because... your teammates couldn't follow it up that easily, right? So they're not too close yet. So in this case, it was actually, your patience was warranted. In fact, it was very good. It was excellent. And so, very well done on that fight. I love the positioning. I love the fact that you stayed out of vision and kited out. But I'm not going to lie, this is guess the rank. I have to guess the rank. And just based upon the Lina's positioning and the enemy team grouping up like that, this is quite the chase. Alright, I'm sorry that we have to end it on a bad note like that. I'm sorry, Mizu, but I'm gonna have to say that this is low legend. There's just no smokes. Your spellcasting is pretty good, it is, but like, that's about it. I'm not gonna lie. You're not really actively setting up the plays you need to, and sometimes it takes you a little bit too long to react. Slightly, you know, I want to say ancient, but I'm gonna be honest, I have to say legend. I'm gonna say legend 1, and you are... Okay, I was close. Where are you? Where you at? Where you at? Legend 3! I knew it. Guys, I was on point today. Smash the like button for your boy Speed being absolutely broken in my guesses. But you kind of see why I can say this, guys? Like, confidently say he's legend. There's just a couple of these constant slip-ups that add up and add up and add up and add up. And honestly, in the early game I was watching, there was quite a few decisions that were very, very So you might want to look back at it if you're watching this, Mizu. For anyone else, if you want to look at the match ID and watch the early game, there's a couple mistakes you guys could point out, but... Just talking about the mid game there, I hope you can fix up a lot of the problem. I hope everyone watching can learn from that, learn to buy smoke so you can actually actively make plays and not have the enemy team see you coming, because in the future, if this is an Immortal game and you don't buy a smoke and you try to play tiny, it will be very hard for you to catch Selena because she's going to position around you. She won't let you just naturally combo her. It will be significantly harder. and therefore, you know, you gotta buy that item. Also, oh my god, you actually bought a Kaya. Please tell me that was at the last second. All right. I'll give you a pass, but still, if I ever see you buy this again, I will destroy you. All right, thanks for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next one, and peace. Before you leave, just want to say a quick message. If you're trying to get better at Dota or you just enjoyed that video, I know this is pretty general, and you're gonna hear this quite a bit from me, but I recommend you sign up to gameleap.com. Why? Because I put a lot of effort into the content over there, and generally the effort I do there is different from the content you're gonna see here on YouTube. It is different. In fact, I usually go a lot more in depth on topics or into niche topics that help you get to the next level even faster. Because on YouTube, I often have to keep it more mainstream, and that's even why I'm putting it at the end of this YouTube video. That's why this is at the end, because a lot of people just watch 5 minutes, they skip through just for like the dopamine spike. But if you are interested in actually getting better at Dota, I recommend you go to the description down below, get your discount right now by clicking the link, sign up, use the discount code that you're gonna see there, and I hope to see you there right now. So click it, and yeah, thanks for watching.